Namaste and welcome to my first Yoga in the Garden class that I'm going to be streaming on the internet somehow. I'm going to apologise now because I have my husband Ben in the background. I'm going to say hello, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
He's going to be doing karate in the background. But remember, in a yoga we practice ahimsa, which is non-violence. So we're going to be practicing non-violence to ourselves today with a nice gentle flow. So this should be accessible to all of you out there. And those of you that want to make yourselves or want to work a little bit harder, if your bodies want to work a little bit harder, then feel free to add more. I'll always give you options to add more or take away to make the practice more gentle and more appropriate for you. So we're going to start in any comfortable seated position. It doesn't have to be cross legs. If this is comfortable, but with an upright spine, then go for it. Some people like to sit with their feet together and knees apart, or even their legs out straight. The other alternative, of course, is to grab a yoga block or anything in your house, a cushion, a book, something that can raise your hips up, will take the pressure off the low back, make it slightly easier to sit upright. So for the first couple of moments of any yoga class, it's important to let your body and your mind catch up with each other, particularly in this current craziness. Our minds can be all over the place. So right now, I just want you to focus on you in whatever room you're in, whatever clothes you're in, whatever state you're in. Just focus and bring your awareness to now. Let your hands rest intuitively, wherever feels comfortable for you. If your fingers come naturally together to make a mudra, then that's absolutely fine. If you'd like to rest your hands in your lap or on your belly and your chest, that's fine too. But I want you to be comfortable and just allow yourselves to settle. If closing your eyes feels right, then go ahead. If not, then you can have a relaxed gaze forwards. And just give yourselves a moment to find this moment. Let your breath settle and just become the observer. So watching, as if you were watching from the outside, imagining you were sat up in the rafters, looking down on this person. Watching them breathe, watching them move. Watching them relax into this moment. And sometimes it takes a little bit more time to arrive, to become present. So feel free to pause the video at any time, spend a bit more time. If you want to, we can start to move gently, starting to link our movement with our breath. So allowing your chin to drop to your chest. On an inhale, start to roll your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then on an exhale, rolling the chin down to the chest. Inhaling left ear to left shoulder. Just making semicircles, linking the movement with the breath. The dropping of the chin with the exhale. The raising of the ear to the shoulder with the inhale. Slow, steady breaths. Letting your breath lead your movement, not your movement lead your breath. If you find a sticky spot, then stay there. Breathe into it, enjoy the stretch. And the next time your right ear arrives at your right shoulder, pick up your right hand, so that's the same hand as the side you're dropping your head to. Reach your hand over your head and let your hand rest on your left ear. Now without pulling, can't stress that enough, it's not a pull, just let your arm become heavy. The left shoulder becomes heavy and you might reach your left fingertips out to the side. And you get a lovely stretch down the left side of the neck. Still maintaining an upright spine. A little bit of lift through the pelvic floor. We're starting to activate our Mula Bandha. Perhaps starting to breathe a little bit deeper into the belly. And then slowly release your right arm. Bring your right arm down beside you and lift your left arm straight up, lengthening the left side. And as you exhale, leaning over to your left. Bringing your right, bringing your right hands to the floor. Perhaps bending your right elbow towards your hip if that feels appropriate. Otherwise, just having your arms straight. Lifting your left arm up, predominantly up, weighting down the left hip. Feeling a lovely stretch down the left side of the body. So the left neck is long, and now we're lengthening the whole left side of the body, reaching into the fingers. Breathing into the intercostal spaces, clearing out all the gunk. It's a technical term. And then breathing in, coming back to center, and letting your left ear drop to your left shoulder. And repeating, bringing your left hand across to rest on the right ear. The right arm can be resting on the right leg or out to the side if you want more stretch. Now, if you want to, very, very gently and mindfully, you might want to angle your chin down a bit or up a bit. Just to target the stretch to where you need it most today. And every time I do this exercise, it feels different. And then gently releasing, bringing your arm back down by your sides. Lifting your right arm up, stretching into your right fingers as if you're trying to reach something just beyond your reach, but grounding down through the right hip. And then exhaling to reach over to the left. And you can see my right arm, it's not reaching over, so I'm not compressing the left side of my waist. I'm still keeping the left side long, and I'm predominantly reaching up as opposed to over. So I'm keeping the length, tailbones tucking under, and I'm breathing, and I'm smiling. You've got to smile. And then inhaling, coming back to center and release. You're going to stay where you are, but I'm just going to turn around to demonstrate now. So bring your arms around behind you now, interlace your fingers. Now we all move habitually, we all do things out of habit. So if you normally interlace your fingers this way, just move them along one and interlace them the wonky way. Pull your knuckles down towards the floor, squeezing shoulder blades together. We're going to warm up our shoulders, making some circles with our hands behind our back. Now the aim of those circles is to not touch your back with your thumbs. So trying to get some space into the shoulders and chest and changing direction. Lovely. And release. Give everything a good shake out, a good stretch. Moving your block out to the side if you've got it, and bringing your feet flat to the floor now. And your arms can either be down by your side next to your hips, maybe behind you a little bit to lean into, or some of you might want to bring them forward with your hips if you want to work your tummy muscles a little bit more. But if your lower back, if your tummy muscles aren't feeling so strong today, and that's going to compromise your lower back, please have your hands, use your hands for support. We'll do a little bit of work with strengthening the core, starting to activate the hip flexor muscles a little bit. So both feet are flat to the floor, hip width apart, toes point forward, shoulders relaxed, leaning back ever so slightly, starting to engage the tummy muscles. On an inhale, lift your right leg, extend your right leg out in front of you. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your chest. Inhale to extend, exhale to lower. Left leg, inhale, extend. Exhale, use the exhale, squeeze the knee to the chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale to lower. We'll do one more on each side. Inhale. Exhale, contract the muscles, squeeze knee to chest. Inhale, extend, spread your toes. And lower. One more. Inhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, squeeze, contract. Inhale, extend, spread your toes. Exhale, lower. Keep this lovely position with your body. Keep your shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed. If you feel you're picking up tension in your neck, just give your head a little bit of a wobble. This time, we're going to extend the right leg out straight and come forward. Bringing the left knee in towards you. Wrap your right arm around your left knee and bring your left arm out behind you to the floor. If your fingers don't touch the floor, place your hand on a block. Right foot is active, so toes point up to the ceiling. Spread your toes and turn to look over your left shoulder. Now if your neck doesn't like that, your head can stay looking forwards or off to the side. It's more important to think about twisting from the torso, lengthening the spine, not collapsing here, keeping lovely length, lift, and breathing so that you can feel your belly pressing against your thigh as you breathe. We're starting to wake up our agni, our digestive fire in the belly. It keeps us healthy. And turning your head back to the center, bringing your hands out beside you. Now, you're going to stay in this position. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see where we're going. From here, we're going to roll into an inversion. So we're going to roll onto our back and either extend the right leg into the air, squeezing the left knee into the chest, or some of you might lift up into a little shoulder stand, little deer-shaped shoulder stand. The right leg goes vertical, the left knee comes towards the forehead. Please be careful not to turn your head here. That's why I'm not looking at the camera. There is pressure on my neck. So I'm just going to release out of this a little bit so I can see where my head is. Just keep breathing there. Nice deep breaths. If you'd like to go further, you can extend your left leg out behind you. Your toes may or may not touch the floor. Coming into a half halasana, plow pose. Rebend your knee. Use your hands for support and slowly roll down. If you're up, if you're here, that's fine. We'll all meet here. Bring your hands around the back of your left thigh. Press into your left thigh and rock yourself back up to a seated position. Bring your hands around behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. The right leg is straight, the left leg is still bent. There's a little gap between your left foot and your right knee. Puffing up your chest. Taking a little bit of weight into your hands, maybe feeling a slight lightness through your hips now. You're welcome to stay here with your hips down. Lifting your chest, maybe lifting the tip of your nose up to the ceiling slightly. Maybe lifting your gaze up to the ceiling. For those of you that want to go there, if you feel it's okay for you today, you can press into your left foot, your right heel, and lift your hips into an Ardha Purvattanasana variation. Making sure that the right hip is level with the left hip. The belly is engaged, the shoulder blades are squeezing together. The neck is relaxed and you're breathing. And then lowering hips to the floor. Sliding the left foot forward slightly, just a little bit, just enough, so that you can pick up your right foot, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Really important here, my foot is staying flexed. This muscle, the gastrocnemius muscle, when that's contracted, it protects the knee joint. It's the only muscle that crosses the knee joint. So it protects the knee joint when it's at this jaunty angle. So really important to flex the foot, engage the calf muscle, protect the knee. It's not just to look pretty. Now some of you might be thinking, oh, this is horrible. Some of you might be thinking, I like this. So it's up to you. If you want more, you bring your bottom and heel closer together, and you could even use your hands to press your chest closer to your shin. Pigeon variation. Or if you want less, you slide your left foot forwards, and you have a little bit less intensity. So the right knee is pressing it away from you and the right foot is flexed. And you're breathing. Steady, deep Ujjayi breaths. From whichever position you're in now, we're going to let the right foot drop over to the left. So the left foot is near the right buttock. We end up sitting in this position. So the right foot is crossing over the left knee and the left foot is by the bottom. Sitting up tall. Now when you get here, have a wiggle, see if both sit bones feel grounded. If not, if it feels uncomfortable, again, you can use your trusty yoga block or you can lean to the left and straighten out your left leg. Totally fine, you'll still get the same out of the pose, you're just not hurting the knee and you can be more upright. Whichever variation you are in, we're going to use the left arm, hug the left arm around the right knee, bring the right arm around behind. Lots of twists today, lots of lefts and rights to confuse you. And then turn your head, if it feels appropriate, to look over your right shoulder. And for those of you that come to my class, Ardha Matsyendrasana, but I know you knew that. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, and feel your belly pressing against your thigh as you breathe deeply. Both sit bones grounded, lifting through the spine, through your Sushumna Nadi, your central energy channel. There's a spiral of energy going on here when you breathe. Turning back to the front and bringing your legs, sitting your right leg in front, coming into a simple cross-leg position. Sitting up nice and tall, bringing your palms together. Taking a deep inhale to lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, bring your right elbow across to the left knee. So we're twisting to the left. Press your palms together, lift your left elbow up to the ceiling, and perhaps turn to look up to the ceiling. Feeling a little bit of a deeper twisty fold going on. Nice deep breaths. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Pressing against the palms makes you feel like you're growing taller. And then coming back to center. Giving the hands a little bit of a shake out. Hands around behind you, unraveling the legs. And extending your legs out in front. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to draw the right knee in with a little bit of a gap between the right foot and the left knee. Hugging the left arm around the right knee, left toes are active, right hand behind, and twist to look over your right shoulder. Not so worried about the neck twisting. Think about the belly moving around behind the side. You can even actually grab hold of your belly and pull it around. It's a satisfying sensation. Relax shoulders away from ears. Lift from the tailbone and breathe. And at any point, if you find a posture just feels just right, pause the video. Practice it, stay in it, enjoy it. And then turning your head back to center, releasing your left hand out behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then up to you which variation you go for. We're going to roll back into our half shoulder stand again. So either rolling back, bringing the left knee towards the chest, the right knee towards the chest, the left leg active. Your hands can be down, you can stay here, or you can hold on with your hands. For those of you that want to go a little bit deeper, you lift up. You can use your hands on your hips for support. Your right knee comes towards your forehead, perhaps even rests on your forehead, and your left leg moves to a vertical position. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe your right toes reach out behind you. And you breathe. Puffing up your chest, making sure there's space for your neck. Mula Bandha. And then releasing, rebending the knee. And with control, using your tummy muscles if you're up in this position. If not, it doesn't matter. Controlling the descent. And then holding on behind the right thigh, pressing into the right thigh to lift up to seated. If it takes a couple of rocks, so be it. That's absolutely fine. Coming back to the front. Sitting up nice and tall. Making sure the flesh is pulled back from the sit bones so you can be evenly balanced on your sit bones. Bringing your hands out behind you, rolling shoulder blades together, right knees pointing straight up to the ceiling, puffing up your chest, breathing into your chest. Feel your tailbone tucking under, lifting through the pelvic floor muscles, a little bit of lightness through your hips, or perhaps lifting up all the way. This is optional, this isn't necessary. Please do be careful of your necks. Make sure the left hip lifts if you've gone for this more intense option. And then exhale to lower the hips down to the floor. Slide the right leg forward just a teensy bit so you can pick up your left foot and cross the left ankle over the right knee. And again, you decide how intense do you want to make this. Remember, the important thing is the left foot is flexed. Actually today, do you know what? Oh, my hip flexors and my glutes are tight, so I might go forward a little bit with my right leg. Or I might think, you know what, I need that stretch, I enjoy that stretch. My body thanks me for that stretch. It's one of the Marmite postures in yoga. Breathing into your seated pigeon pose. Eka Pada Raja Kapotasana. And then slowly sliding your right leg forwards just enough so that you can come into your cross leg position with the left leg in front this time. Palms together. Inhale to lift and lengthen the spine. Bringing the thumbs to rest on the sternum for a moment. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, reach the left elbow across the right knee. Lift the right elbow. Turn the fingers to the chest. Press the palms together to twist. Perhaps turn your head to look up to the ceiling. But think about growing from the tailbone to the crown of your head as you twist and lengthen. And I've just realised I forgot Ardha Matsyendrasana on this side, so we will do it. And that's practice, that's yoga practice, it happens all the time. Inhale, come back to centre. So I've just got to remember which way we did this. So this time we're going to cross the left leg over the right and perhaps bring the right foot to the bum. If you can sit tall like this, great. If not, extend the right leg out in front, and this time you hug the right arm around the left knee and the left hand comes behind you to twist. So you have the option to have the right leg straight or the right leg bent. Not quite such a smooth transition. Don't forget to breathe, don't forget to lift. Relax your jaw. That's where we can tell often if we're forcing in a posture. If you start feeling that you're gurning and your jaw's becoming all tight, if you can smile, you're relaxed. And then turn your head back to the front. Release out of the posture, unraveling your legs, giving them a good old shake out. And we're going to roll forwards now to all fours. So some of you, give you options here. Some of you may be comfortable crossing your legs and rolling over to all fours like so. Or if your knees aren't going to be happy with that, why don't you bring your legs around to the side and make your way over to all fours. And there's always other options. If you have your own way of getting there, please do. So in all fours, I'd like you to slide your hands a little bit further back so that they're right in front of your knees. So they're close to you. So you're having to lift already through the pelvic floor, having to round the upper back slightly, stretching the backs of the shoulders, keeping the back of the neck long, so looking down to your mat, making sure your hands and knees are about shoulder width apart, so a bit wider than usual. Big toes are touching. We're just going to practice sliding one knee at a time up the arms. So rocking from side to side, lifting one knee, up one arm, placing it down, lifting the other knee and placing it down. For those of you who are feeling a little bit stronger, you can do a few of those, or if you want to, you can keep the toes flat to the floor and lift the knees up and down a few times. Lovely. We'll do one more like that, whichever variation you're going for. Just going to turn back to the front and then stepping yourself back, stepping your knees back into a neutral all four position, sitting back onto your heels and just giving your wrists a little bit of a roll around to decompress your wrists. Bring your palms together. I'll shuffle forwards. I feel like I'm quite far away from the camera. Bring your palms together, lift your elbows so you can start to feel a stretch through your wrists. Press your arms over to your left, keeping your torso where it is. Use your right fingers to stretch your left fingers backwards and maybe turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Relax your shoulders, tailbones tucks under, particularly if you're sitting on a kneeling position with your bottom on your heels. We want to stick our bottom out here and arch our lower back. Really important to tuck the tailbone under, lift through the crown of the head, engage the mula bandha, pelvic floor muscles. Breathe into your belly. Inhale, head to center, hands to center, and then press your hands over to the right. Use your left fingers. Turn your head to the left. So you should feel the stretch on the back of the right wrist. Come back to center. Release your hands. We're going to make our way up to stand. So coming to stand any way that's comfortable for you and appropriate for you. Bring your feet together. Big toe mounds to touch, heels a tiny bit apart from each other. Spreading your toes out, hands together at your heart. Relaxing your shoulders, reaching upwards through the crown of your head, tailbone tucking under. So you feel the pull of the earth downwards and the pull of the sky upwards. Mountain pose. You are a mountain. You are as strong as a mountain. You are as grounded as a mountain. On an inhale, lift your arms shoulder width apart. Sit back as if you're sitting into a chair. Utkatasana. Tailbone stays tucking under. Palms together. Sit a little deeper. Take an inhale, lift and lengthen the spine, but stay nice and deep in your squat. Squeeze your knees together. Bring your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Perhaps reach the right arm up. Now, if the elbow doesn't reach the knee, bring the left hand to the knee and the right hand behind you. And twist. Make sure you just glance down at your knees. Keep the twist and the torso, but have a glance at your knees. If your left knee has crept forward, over-exaggerating, that means your hip's poking out. So pull that left knee back into alignment. And then you can turn the head if it feels appropriate. Inhale, come back to center, reach up. Straighten the legs, exhale, fold forwards. Plant your hands and take a big step back with your left foot and lower your left knee down. Sink forwards into a lunge. Just checking in that your right knee is directly above your right ankle, that it's not shooting forwards of your right ankle. So perhaps do a little bit of wiggling backwards and forwards, checking in with your hips, getting some movement into your hips and seeing what your range of motion is today. It's different every day. So perhaps you need to scoot your right foot forward so the knee is above the ankle. Bring your right arm inside your right knee and walk your right foot out to the right. Sinking your hips forwards, back of the neck stays long. Lizard posture. Now when I'm in this pose, if I have my back knee down, I like to flatten my back foot. So you can see there's quite a steep angle in my back thigh. I'm not back here, I'm stretching my hips. And if I flatten my back foot, a little bit of pressure into that back foot takes the weight off my back knee. Of course, you always have the option to slide a blanket or something a bit more comfortable or a cushion underneath that back knee. If it's appropriate for you to do so, some of you might be able to come down onto your left elbow, keeping the spine long. Some of you might come down onto the right elbow as well. The right knee remains hugging into the midline, and you breathe. Relax the neck. So remember, if you pick up tension in your neck, just a gentle sway with the head. Coming back to your breath. Rounding down through your right foot. Bringing your hands back underneath you. If you've gone lower, you don't have to. This is your practice. Sliding your right knee back to your left. Bottom drops to heels, arms reach forward, forehead to the floor. Balasana, child's pose. You can take your arms as wide as you want. Breathing into your back body. Your forehead is dropping down. If your forehead doesn't touch the floor, if your bum's on your heels and your forehead's up here, why don't you grab your block, your book, your cushion, and put your forehead, rest your forehead there. You want to feel the stretch, the lovely stretch in the low back. If your forehead does touch the floor, so be it. That's your practice. On an inhale, lift your chest to look forwards. Creep your hands a little bit further forward. Draw yourself up to all fours. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back. Nice bend in the knees, stretching out through the hamstrings, giving your feet a little walk out. Massaging your feet as you go. Keep that walking motion going as you walk your feet forwards to the front of your mat. Your hands might have come up by now and that's fine. And then just dangle. Bent knees. I like to use the ketchup bottle analogy. Imagine you're shaking out the last bits of a bottle of ketchup, bouncing on your knees, having a swish and a sway. Head is heavy. Toes are spreading. Breathing. And then slowly unrolling to stand.